The Bill of Rights was created in order to give us our individual rights. In the Bill of Rights, there is a total of 10 amendments.
Each amendment of the Bill of Rights gives us different freedoms. The First Amendment of the Bill of Rights says,
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof,
or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press,
or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances.
But some people choose to abuse the First Amendment. They will use it to disrespect the United States of America. Laws need to be enforced when people abuse the First Amendment, so they are legally punished. James Madison wrote the Bill of Rights on September 25th, 1789 in New York. The reason that James Madison wrote the Bill of Rights was because several states were asking for the constitutional protection for the people's rights.
James Madison was the 4th President of the United States of America from 1809 through 1817, and he was later referred to as the Father of the Constitution. The Bill of Rights was then ratified on December 15, 1791, with only 10 of the 12 amendments passed. The Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments that are in the United States Constitution. Freedom of speech was made in order to allow people to tell the government what they think is needed. Freedom of speech tells people that they are allowed to freely express their feelings and opinions on things, as well as letting the people criticize the government.
In the United States, this topic has affected our country greatly. We need the freedom of speech, but this should not include disrespect towards our country.
The freedom of speech allows everyone to be themselves and show the world who they really are and how they feel. In the world, nothing will ever be perfect, but we can always try to improve. For example, recently there have been many violent protests happening during the most recent presidential election, and law enforcement is having trouble enforcing laws during protests. There are protest organizations that are abusing the freedom of speech. They say things such as, I have the right to speak whatever I would like to because this is a free country, or I have the right to say whatever I want because we have the freedom of speech. Since the Bill of Rights was created, times have changed and so have people. Everyone has the rights that they deserve and need to make sure that they have a good life. Another thing about the freedom of speech that is good is you are allowed to disagree with our government and not face punishment. Enables people to convince others to change their minds. That people have different political views. The government shouldn't make any laws that affect the way that people feel, and that you have the right to be able to disagree with others. The bad things about the freedom of speech are when people use words to hurt others and someone gets hurt. The line between a person's rights to express themselves have been crossed and then becomes a crime. Another con of the First Amendment is when people use it to disrupt peace, when it is racist, when people promote violence against law enforcement and hate towards our president, and when people express themselves by destroying property. In conclusion, from my research on this topic, I found that the freedom of speech has a positive and a negative effect on our society. I know this because without the freedom of speech, our country would not be able to resolve differences in our views. It gives us the ability to express ourselves in many ways, be it art or even music. The negative impact the freedom of speech can have on our society is when it compromises public safety and when it affects how stable our government is. The fact is, people are getting very injured due to protests. Businesses are losing money because their businesses are being destroyed, and our country has become completely divided and unstable because of people abusing the First Amendment. Due to all the things happening in our country, I believe the First Amendment should be rewritten to limit the freedom of speech for the well-being of our country.
What if you were told